happened. Can everybody, I'm guessing everybody can see what's happening. Cool, I guess I'm live now, whatever that means. What I really want to hit on real quickly, can I get some confirmation in the chat real fast that everything's working well? Just some thumbs up, yes, anything basic like that. What I want to emphasize though is that the more, okay, you have to refresh to get live. Okay, everybody refresh. Cool, fantastic. The big aspect for all of you, a lot of you might identify so heavily as being a, what's the word, introverted individual. The only way that you go to be a extroverted individual, someone who's comfortable stepping out, is by challenging yourself. That's all this daily law is about. I absolutely love this daily law. Let's go ahead and transition now over to, give me 1 second, what we're going to be covering today. Now, today is a really important topic, actually. Today is an incredibly, incredibly important topic. The reason why today is an incredibly important topic, can y'all hear the background music? That's hilarious. I didn't realize y'all could hear all of my music. That's hilarious. Let me fix this real fast. Should be good now. Can y'all hear this? That's so funny. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I listen to some interesting rap from time to time. I gotta do what I gotta do to be able to get through with anything. Big X the Plug is valid. I'm not gonna lie. The new album he just came out with is so good. Okay, so today I actually want to start off with sharing the screen to talk about Russ's notes from yesterday. So Russ, when I say we're gonna be putting you on blast, I actually really want you to recognize the importance of the conversation you're starting. You're starting a conversation with everybody that we're not talking about enough. Let me find it real fast. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, I'm gonna share my screen one more time, but I'm gonna make sure to turn off the screen share, so just don't judge me too much. All right, can y'all hear me well? And do y'all hear anything from the rap in the background, most importantly? I'm gonna guess it's not an issue, just for heads up. Cool, no music, just me. The stuff I'm drinking, got it. By the way, I want to talk about a big progress I've made. I've been drinking my own coffee at home, and it's been a big deal. I usually go out and eat everything. Don't judge me too much. I'm learning how to like make stuff at home. I'm wanting to like cut down, you know, and like the chub. I feel really like, oh, you can't see me. That's fantastic. Let me add this on. I want y'all to be able to see what I'm talking about. Save. Give me a second. Boom. Insta link. Let me do this. Move down. Let me see here. Where's my video? Give me a second, guys. I'm just setting up my camera so it can actually be live here. There we go. Okay, cool. Now let me hit this on one more time. I'm trying to like cut down like, you know, this part. I'm trying to like lean down, and it requires you have to just do a lot of cooking. I'm not fantastic at it. It's kind of embarrassing, but you know, we're all in the same boat together. We're all just trying to get better. Y'all can shame me a little bit. I think fat shaming is healthy, for me at least. You know, I'm more of a tough love type of guy, so I appreciate everything that goes on. Now, let's transition over real quickly. I want to address this more than anything else. So, Russ, I'm going to start coming to you real quickly. Was it right here? Okay, it's funny. More and more people keep moving to no-code solutions, right? But it feels like it defeats the purpose of being in a school to learn coding, if we're going to learn them, right? Programming and coding is freaking amazing, and I'll never stop, right? Then Bradley put down below, no-code solutions just helpful quick stuff. Learning how to build those templates and how to actually coding is actually work is valuable. It's kind of like old Blast because without the tools for what they need, you know, I need to buy tools, but you know how they repair. I love all this. Let's talk about this from a business standpoint. Now, yes, I'm here if you want to split screen. I don't know how to do a split screen and like invite people back just for context. I'm sorry about that, Russ, but we can just address this initially. So what I want to talk about, we are here because, and what I've noticed, a lot of y'all get the best growth out of these calls when we address that this is a business call. We're here to talk about business and how you can get a job in software engineering to really stand out. So understanding that, I need everybody to break out a piece of paper and a pen. And in a little bit, I'm going to go through the chat, then we'll go split screen and I'm going to cover some of these things. The reason no-code solutions are so important. Everybody, please write this down. I see this question so often. I need y'all to listen this time. Just one time, I need you to listen to me, okay? What I see happening is that everybody starts learning how to code, and that becomes your tool belt, right? You're learning all these things. You're learning all these amazing things. You're developing these tools. But you start thinking, this hammer, I'm going to use it for everything, right? And if you try to use a hammer to put together some furniture, fun fact, it's not going to work well, right? It's a really bad idea, actually. It's not a good idea, right? You're going to tear everything apart. Coding is amazing when used appropriately, right? Software engineers, right? I've been told by Peter, Nathan, stop calling them coders, call them software engineers. Software engineers. The engineering aspect is really important. If I ask any of you to build a house for me, right? The first thing you should say is, okay, what's the budget? Because the budget is going to tell a couple things. It's going to walk us through how long it will take, the quality of it, right? And the overall cost, right? What do you want built, Nathan? What's your budget? Everything. If you have a higher budget, you can maybe get something done much more in depth at a faster rate. If you have a low budget, you need to make sure you deliver just the MVP. No-code solutions are not built for building software. The purpose of a no-code solution is to deliver a product. This is something that none of you have thought about. And this is where the mental shift starts to take place. So I'm going to give you a little bit of details. This is a weird story. I'm in the process of hiring somebody to come into DevSlopes and be a director of operations. This person's role is to really help make sure everything runs a lot smoother, which is pretty cool. Now, one of the things that he came to us and he started talking about Reddit. And he's like, hey, I just want to point out, I saw some stuff about you on Reddit. It wasn't too fantastic. And I was like, yeah, I know. People get a little upset we don't give refunds at times, even when it's been a year of them being in the program. The second thing we talked about, though, that I think is much more important, I mentioned the reason why there's a negative sentiment towards alternative education is, I know, guys, I'm going to mention Reddit 24/7 until everybody's on it nonstop trying to support the school. The reason why this is really important to be mindful of, is that people are going to boot camps or all kinds of options. But what they're realizing is they're graduating with a tool belt, right? They have a screwdriver, they have a hammer, they have a saw, they have the tools. But they're missing what matters, how to put the tools together and put them to use, right? So, Russ, you're so valid in the concerns of what's the purpose of this? Why am I paying for school when I'm trying to actually figure this stuff out? And so I'm going to go back to the screen share here real quickly. I'm going to turn off the audio, so it shouldn't be an issue here. Let me make this bigger. So I really want to drive this point home real fast, right? I just want to make sure I'm hitting this home. So again, let me make sure this is on the right side. Cool. Almost done. And I have a big learning point on this in just a little bit. Like a really, really big learning point. This might be one of the best live streams we've ever had in terms of what you're going to learn today. What you're going to learn today might be one of the biggest live streams you will ever have from a mental and philosophical standpoint. So just really, really pay attention. What I want you all to focus on, this word's really important. This is what all of you are right now. You're software engineers. But most importantly, you're engineers. All of you, this is the most important thing. You're engineers. First and foremost. The more that you obsess over being this, right, the more you're going to lose. You use technology to create solutions, right? You're using technology to create solutions. Now, real quickly, what are these solutions for? One, to drive revenue, to improve business workflow. That's mostly it. What does software do? To drive revenue through products / services, right? So you kind of have in the SaaS world, you kind of have two options, right? You have the tools. So you have like tools. The tools are like project management tools, right? There's like project management tools. You have CRMs. These are things that improve business functions. And then you have on the other side, you have your Netflixes, right? You have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have Disney Plus, right? These are all services where you get a lot of benefits out of it, right? Super helpful benefits, things along those lines. And then you have these tools over here. What you start realizing is that, guess what? A lot of small businesses need these tools, right? So I'm going to scroll down here. There's something like 30 million plus small businesses in the US, right? Number one, how many of them need websites? And I want to hear in the chat, how many of the small businesses in the world right now do you think need websites? I want to hear right now y'all's responses to that. Go. How many small businesses in the US need websites? Put in the chat right now. I want to know immediately. The number two, all of them, exactly. Like fucking Anthony hit on the head. Greg hit on the head. Patrick hit on the head. Alex, I think it's worth mentioning there's a lot of operations on DevSlopes that run via no-code solution. Hey guys, fun fact, the entire operation of DevSlopes runs on no-code except for Ziggy and a handful of AI tools that we've built that are super valuable, right? So like, yeah, so I'll explain the workflow of how this works in a moment. So how many of them need websites? The next steps, how many of them need CRMs? Number three, and I want y'all to continue answering these, right? How many of them do you think need help tracking leads? I'll actually put this in a different word. How many of them need help tracking leads and customers? How many of them need software to track their operations? Think about the businesses that you work at, right? So think about working at McDonald's. All of them use some kind of technology to get shit done. Like all of y'all use some kind of technology on a daily basis to get your jobs done, right? Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't on camera here. Every single business needs software. Every single business. There's no way to write this text without people think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. I'm truly loving the proven wrong. No, dude, Russ, that's why you're so awesome. Dude, to have the ability to say, hey, I don't get this, get proven wrong, and be like, boom, I actually love this point. I get proven wrong all the time. I just had an extremely confrontational conversation with Peter where he was like, Nathan, you made a big fucking mistake on XYZ. You need to improve it. And I was like, you know what, dude, you're right. I made a pretty big mistake. I was like, I probably need to improve this. It was not a good mistake, guys. So it's like, these are okay. We want to make these mistakes. We want to learn. Let's improve, right? So how does this apply to all of you? So I'm going to circle in all of this. How does this apply to you? I want to hear some of you let me know. How does this apply to you as students? How does all of this apply to you as a student? Think through it, really, right? How do the no-code solutions apply to you as a student? Helping you get jobs, helping you do anything. How does any of this apply to y'all? I want to hear it. This applies to you because you will have two routes when you graduate DevSlips to go work with employers, right? You will have traditional software engineer. And then you have technical partner. Or you can call it business. Oh, I forgot what I called it. Technical, I think it was business operations engineer. You have two different routes. For you as a student, you have these two different routes. Business operations, exactly. Now, let's talk about why this is important for all of you. I have one major question for all of you. I want to question with each and every one of you. What's your goal? Right? What's your goal? This will determine all of these things. So I want to ask everybody real quickly, what's your goal at DevSlopes? What is your goal at DevSlopes? Please put in the chat right now. And by the way, Papados, I know I keep forgetting the actual name there, but that's right. That's the point. You can facilitate everything. You, each and every one of you, could so easily make $2,000 to $5,000 a month using the BizOps training, like so easily. It would not be hard to get 10 people on retainer for $500 a month. It's a fucking cakewalk, to be transparent. It's not hard. Okay. Spend as much time with my family as I can. Being able to earn, to build my career. Russ, be more specific. Build your career is not good enough. Build your career in what? Alex. This is probably an engineering job in aviation, but you don't get into that without experience, so you gotta get it elsewhere. Got it. Long-term transition to a high-paid position. Okay, question. Before I answer this, right, which is industry size, right? There's some things I'm just gonna put here for us to fill in later. Industry size, opportunity, availability, needs. I'm actually going to put it off to this side. We'll create a pretty little chart because we're software engineers. We understand the importance of data integrity. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to ask a question to all of you. What if you could get a job that's remote and pays $50,000 a year in the next 6 months? But it's biz ops. Would you be happy with that as a starting point? Everybody, if I offered you a $50,000 a year job within the next 6 months, that would be business operations working with pre-code solutions, would you be happy with that being your foot in the door to the industry? I'm going to take this a step further. What if you had the ability to get started in tech, but first using no-code solutions and then transitioned to coding once you found a clear need for it? How would you feel about that? I'm going to take this a little bit further. What matters most? A job in coding or a job or a foot in the door of the tech world with a slightly different perspective? Would you rather get your foot in the door, start off as a no-code individual who's building out all the operations, who understands the business and product point of view? Or would you rather be the individual who's like, I'm only getting started in coding. It has to be coding. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be focused on the big picture. I'm glancing at chat right now, right? Alex, that'd be an upgrade to what I do now, so I'm definitely go for it. Zen, yes. Patrick, yes, that's on my short-term goals. John, I'd be happy to learn the business ops and grows my knowledge in the field. Absolutely. Jordan, absolutely. Angel, hell yeah. Alex, also yes. Greg, perfect. Anthony, yes, in my opinion, the experience is more valuable than the salary. A foot in the door for sure. Number 2, I can live with that. Greg, foot in the door, a foot in the door. This is the point that I'm getting at, everybody. A lot of you get short-sighted. I'm going to turn off screen share for just a moment, right? Screen share. I'm going to, just for a moment, then we're going to back into this. You must learn to take a step back and see the big picture. Right now, so many of you are obsessed with the idea. You're obsessed with the idea of software engineering, but you neglect to understand what is software engineering. Software engineering is purely the idea of being able to build a product for a client. If you go to a really experienced software engineer like Peter, and I said, hey, Peter, can you build something? Actually, you know what? Let's have some fun with this. Let's see if he'll answer. He was biking last time I called him. Give me a moment. Just so you know, everybody, he's going to answer the call and be like, yes, Nathan. You okay, you hear me? Hey, I have you on speaker, and the podcast is going, just for context.
Okay.
Hey, if I told you I wanted to launch an e-commerce store tomorrow, what would you tell me to do?
I guess I'd ask what you were selling, or you mean like from a technology perspective?
Yeah.
Use Shopify.
No, but Peter, I want you to like code it though.
I don't know if I'd do that.
Why?
I think that's a lot of work for like prepackaged when there's prepackaged solutions.
But Peter, I have an idea though. I want to sell these hoodies and I don't want to use Shopify. I want you to custom code it.
No.
Well, why are you saying no?
That's so much work.
What do you mean it's so much work? You could just like throw some code together. I can have ChatGPT write it and you could just launch it.
Yeah, it's really easy.
It's super easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll only take like, a year or 2.
So real quickly, if you go to a good software engineer and you tell them, hey, I want you to help me launch a e-commerce store. If they told you, that's fine, I can custom build it, right? Versus telling you to go to Shopify, what would you say to that person?
I would say that there really needs to be a strong use case for them to build their own than go to.
If any of our students said they want to build a custom Shopify store or like a custom store instead of using Shopify, what would you say to them? And by the way, Peter, please, I'm asking for you. Answer this how you would respond to me, not how you would respond in a PC world.
I would just tell you no.
No, you wouldn't. You'd say get fucked, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I'd say that.
Okay, guys, just for context, he would tell me to get fucked. I'm looking at the camera saying that. So if somebody is like, hey, I want to have this landing page built, right? Would you say, hey, custom? Actually, can you tell the story real quickly? We had somebody in our marketing team who wanted a landing page built. And how much time did Andre put into getting it built?
A fair amount, actually.
Like several days, right?
Yeah, it was a bunch of work.
And then we ended up just creating a new page with like a landing page builder in like 2 hours and replaced that, didn't we?
Yes.
And how pissed were you?
I was annoyed.
No. How actually he was upset, everybody, just so we're clear. He was very upset. How upset were you?
I really don't remember, but I don't like it when you waste people's time.
And
especially my people's time.
and by the way, everybody, this is Peter, our CTO, on the phone. It's not just a waste of time; it's also a waste of a shit ton of money, right? Because every time you point a software engineer in a direction to create something, right,
yeah,
and they're creating
you're paying them to make something. It costs money.
Perfect. So it's something to where when there's a pre-code solution there, you built it with the no-code solution. And then once you start realizing, hey, there's use case needs outside of this, then you could start considering actually building something custom.
And generally, yeah, like, of course, like you want to prove that what you're trying to do is going to be successful first.
So the overall idea, launch an MVP, test how good it is, and then afterwards, you could start reiterating on making custom things.
Yeah, and like Shopify, as an example, allows you to run custom code inside of it. You can do cool stuff on Shopify. but like don't start off there. Like understand the use case that you're really going after. What is actually important.
Love that. Now, Russ kind of started all this conversation. We talked about this earlier about that, how you saw that last night. And honestly, one of the things I love that he said in the chat, he was like, I'm super excited that you're bringing this up. I know I'm being called out, but he's like, I'm really happy that I can have a better understanding of this. So like, that's amazing. Now, what advice would you give to a lot of students? Because so many of the students have this damn idea, hey, I have a hammer and I'm going to use it on everything, right? That's their mentality of software engineering right now. They care more about using their hammer than they do about getting something built, right? Because they want to use the skills that they just learned versus
Sure.
building the product. What's your 10 cents for them kind of getting out of that mentality and focus on being product first?
I mean, like, really put yourself in like the perspective of the person that you're building this for, or what you're trying to achieve, right? Like, that is the goal. Like, it's really cool. I really like solving problems, more so than I like solving software problems. But you know, software has its place, and I like solving software problems. But it's more about solving the problem first. And a lot of the times I do that. I solve that problem with software. But you know, if I don't have to, then I won't, because I like solving problems.
Because it's your job to make sure that they're getting the most effective solution, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's all I got for you right now. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Yeah, of course.
See you, brother. Bye. What do we need, everybody? Right? So we learned that maybe, even though we have a saw and a hammer and a screwdriver, let's use the tools that will get this built more effectively, even though I want to use the hammer right now. Right? So I want everybody, we just covered a lot of stuff. Put in the chat right now, what are your biggest takeaways from this? In Zen, if you just got a custom solution, that's hilarious. Please put in the chat what you're doing, because I want to talk about that in a moment. Now, I'm going to go back to the screen share here. Perfect. So now that we've covered, everybody's in unanimous agreement. The number one priority is a job in tech. Our number one priority is getting a job in tech. Fantastic. Now that we understand that, let's talk about this. Let me go to Zen mode real fast. I don't like this red. This is just understanding the environment that we're in, what we're about to do right here. Okay, everybody? So first things first. The industry size for traditional software engineers, let me Google that. This is for 2030. Okay, cool. Let's look at this. Let's look at what they got to say here. The global was valued at 33 billion. Is expected to grow at a compound rate, so it's growing at 18.8%. Computer-aided engineering. Okay, so we're going to see it grow 18% for software. That makes sense. That's a big growth in individuals, compound insights, application insights. A lot of it will be in electronics, aerospace and defense, so that works out for you, Alex. Architecture, engineering, construction, fantastic. So a lot of this automobile. Okay. So what we see is that it will go from 37.5 billion to 125 billion in revenue forecast in 2030. This growth means that we're going to have a big demand for people, right? The need for employees is going to continue to grow. Understanding that, let's say, actually, let's just percentage of companies in US that are SaaS versus not. Okay. 60% of companies being SaaS, I don't believe that whatsoever. Okay, there's 17,000 SaaS companies. Cool. So there's 17,000 expected. We're just going to work off this number. It's really ugly. There's an estimated 17,000 SaaS companies. I don't believe that. Let's just say it's 200,000. We know for a fact there are over 30 million small businesses in the US. How many of them are SaaS companies? We see that there's a disproportionately larger amount of small businesses versus SaaS. So you can try to get into these companies, which is completely valid, but it's much easier to start off over here and then transition over. Prove that you can focus on solving business problems and building products and then transition over. That's a very big aspect. Number 2, opportunity availability, right? These guys, experience focused. These guys care about what experience you have. A little bit harder because there's gonna be technical interviews, things along those lines, right? If we want to talk about the easiest foot in the door, can you build this? Question mark. Your small businesses are just going to say, hey, can you build this website? Hey, can you build this CRM? Hey, can you build this inventory management system? Hey, can you build this Shopify store? They're going to say, I need to sell stuff online and I don't know how to do that. You step in and facilitate that. You step in as the biz ops engineer to build all these things. And $50K a year for a salary is a walk in the park compared to what you can deliver. See, when a company's asking you to step in and to build something, right? So happy to have you, Russ. I'll talk to you later. Who wants to show? When you step into a company that wants to launch a Shopify store, you could say, hey, I'll step in and launch the Shopify store, build your inventory management system, and in addition, I will launch a CRM for you. And we can look at who your best customers are, and I'll even integrate it with ConvertKit so we can add email marketing into this. Your $50K salary can be covered like that by driving additional revenue just by bringing in solutions that they need, right? That's what we're talking about. They, like small businesses, their needs are to drive more revenue and operational efficiency. That's why this call, we talk about business. We are learning business. It's going to be hard for you to get it initially. That's okay. You'll learn it more with time. The needs of the software company is to build faster and cleaner code. I'll use Peter's word, more expandable. They need to build faster and more expandable code for features, yada, yada, yada. Because of that, they're going to be a lot more selective about who they hire. Now, if you step in as somebody who worked in QA, who worked in small businesses, helping them put operations together, and you show them, I have the mind of a software engineer, my skills aren't the best, but they're almost there. That says so much more. If you look at a lot of people who get into software engineering, they get into that role because they worked in QA or a lot of lateral fields. That makes it a lot easier to step in because you have the mentality of that individual. That's why small businesses trust you to come work with them. I hope this is starting to make sense. This is how we make the job transition, right? So the purpose of this no-code solutions aspect, there are more opportunities. It's more focused on can you build this? It's more focused on driving revenue and operations efficiencies. These are very easy things to do that require no experience. We teach all of this in the business operations course. All of it is taught there for the most part. And you're able to step in, learn the shit fast, and then as they need custom stuff, you could start writing the custom code. That's where things start getting really unique. And then you start understanding business operations. When you understand business operations, you can then step in to help people out. That's why this is so important, everybody. We want to see the bigger picture. That's what all of this is about. That's what software engineers ultimately do. If you remember, does everybody remember when Peter had that quote? Peter said, yeah, I like building technical solutions, but I like solving problems more. When you're more focused on solving customer problems, you will solve much bigger obstacles. Sorry for the mic being weird. When you're more focused on being problem solver than code solver, you look for the most efficient way to get where you want to go. In the same way to where if your sink was leaking, you would want that person to come in with the most effective way to fix your leaky sink. You don't want them to come in and like for a small problem, them try to replace the entire sink. It doesn't make sense. So don't take that approach when it comes to building solutions for clients. Now, I'm going to glance over the chat now. We have a lot of really great stuff here. I want to glance through what we said. So, Zen Fayyad, I want to make sure, is that your name? First and foremost. I'm going to read real quickly. I'm building a website. I'm going to move this over so I look at this appropriately. Fadi, awesome. I'm building a website with Next.js for a salesman who wants to showcase all his products. I recommended an e-commerce website and he loved it. I told him about a 3-package deal where I build the main site and later add additional features. Fadi, don't worry about it. My customer needs an online presence and even said he'd pay me for that. What do you recommend I do with Fadi? This is what I'm talking about, bro. You go to Shopify. That's your best solution. Shopify. You go create and launch a Shopify store. Trying to go through a custom code solution is just a bad idea, mostly because it's going to take you so much more time and you're going to have to devalue your time so much. Whereas if you go launch the e-commerce site with something like Shopify, you could charge way more and work way less. You could put together a Shopify package for upwards of $750 to $2,000, sell it to them and say, I also charge $250 a month afterwards for making sure everything stays updated and so forth. I hope that everybody's starting to catch on. My goal isn't for you to sell large packages. My goal is for you to sell packages they'll cover upfront fees. Yeah, Shopify's the meta, essentially. That's a great way to put that, Anthony. My goal is for you to get like $500 to $750 up front, and then you sell a monthly retaining number of like $250 a month afterwards. Guys, you know, it's funny. A lot of you are going to ask why. Like, so John, this is actually a really good question. I see that Shopify is an option, but what are some other options besides it, right? It really is a great question, but it doesn't matter. Just go to Shopify. The other ones are for uses that are out of your world right now. There's WooCommerce, there's a lot of other ones. You don't need them right now. You just need a basic platform. Shopify is the best route right now. They are one of the largest companies. They have more access to things. Start off with Shopify, right? It's one of the best routes to start off with, hands down. Now, we're going to make a quick transition. Sorry, guys. I gotta handle business sometimes. So, we're gonna make a small transition now. So I should call him back and work out a better deal. He wanted people to pay. Fadi, let's do this. Fadi, DM me your number. Go to Discord, send me your number, and I'll just call you and we can talk about it. Like, just do that right now on Discord. Or just go hit me up on Discord. I'll put you on speaker and we can just talk about it. It's going to be 10 times easier. Send your number here. Yeah, just send your number and I'll call you, amigo. Okay, so while I wait, okay, cool. Fadi's number. I'm just going to call Fadi. We're going to talk about this freelance scenario that he's in. I'll try to make it somewhat brief, and then we're going to go into this new concept I plan on talking about. I'll probably, actually, I might just end up cutting it here. We might cover this with Fadi because I have a little bit of an interesting day.
Hello?
Yo, I got you live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
First off, how exciting is this?
Exciting. You know, it's learning something new, and it's a fresh perspective. And what you're saying, it really resonated with me, especially on the fact that it makes it simpler and you're able to accomplish much more. And when you were saying that, like my customer was telling me about an online presence,
about having people buy from the online store, and all of that was like, man, like all that takes a long time. So I was trying to shorten everything for him with the package deal where I just get the website up and then later on work slowly on the other things.
What's your timeline you think to push this out with Next.js?
I told him it would be a month, but he has not come back to me about the items, and it's been longer than a month and a half. I've been waiting on his items to be sent in.
Dog, you fucked up, right? So let's talk about this though. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what did you quote him for like the total price of everything for the most part?
For the most part, I gave him a good deal of $500, and it would be a 3-page website showcasing all his items and information for contact.
How are you going to handle checkouts, like for people to purchase online?
So that was the thing that we were going to work out with the package. It would be like a second feature to add that, where I would build him an API, like a backend, and that would have taken me much longer,
Dog,
especially with all his items he had.
This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so real quickly, I want to make sure that everybody is really aware. You found a client, he was willing to pay $500, right? You pretty much said we'll do a 3-page deal, and essentially you showcase the items that if they want to buy anything, I'm guessing they submit a form or they call him, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, $500 for that, right? And that was going to take a month to build, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do we see maybe like some of the problems here?
Oh yeah, especially when it came to the code. It took me longer than expected.
Actually,
to get it all set up.
Real quickly, let's not even talk about the code. This is like the reason why I'm mentioning all of this. It's not about you. None of this is about Fadi. I really want to hit this home, right? We don't want to make this about you because it's not about you. This is about the product that we're trying to deliver right now, right? Are you creating a product that will be able to help this individual at a low cost and launch? I mean, you essentially created a website. I'm actually going to ask you a question in a moment. You created a website that would showcase a handful of products that they would then have to submit a form or call him when he's likely not going to answer. Quick question. Can you name me one website where you've ever purchased something where the products were listed online, but you couldn't buy them right on the spot? That's an e-commerce store that you had to actually call somebody to purchase something.
No.
By the way, you better not say DevSlips, okay? We're a service.
No.
We have a sales funnel. It's a different story, okay? Don't throw us under the bus here, man.
No, I wouldn't do that, Nathan.
Okay.
No, but you bring up a good point, and I never considered that. I always just considered the fact that, I got the customer and he wanted this. Okay, I can build that, and then he was going to pay me this. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
By the way,
that was my thought process.
It seemed like it made complete sense. I'm actually not judging you for this, right? This is so helpful. This is part of your learning journey. If you think I haven't ruined so many freelancing projects, then you'd be severely misunderstood, right? You fell your way into figuring a lot of this stuff out. So first things first, let's understand how you actually improve this scenario. So first things first, right? You need to understand that you really hurt the client by what you're trying to build him. That's okay. It wasn't on purpose. Now, what you know is you can build something on Shopify at a much lower cost. This is what I want you to do.
Okay.
I want you to go to Shopify today. I want you to look around. I want you to build out the site. I want you to do everything. Don't ask him about it. You're just going to go build it, right? Can you find where his items are on like a different website or anything like that? Like, are they available anywhere?
No, I have to wait for him to send me in his items.
There's nowhere else for you to see the items anywhere.
He has no online presence. His only way of selling items to people was he would bring them outside and show them inside his car, all his items.
That sounds so sketchy, but we're going to put that to the side. You know, what? It's
how the Middle Easterns do their products. They go to a shipping dock, they get all this stuff there, and then, I mean, Yeah.
Listen, let's be
Let's put it to
transparent.
the
If this was
side,
a
right?
random middle-aged white guy named Steve, I would say be a little bit more concerned about it. If it's a Middle Eastern thing, it's a much more comfortable aspect. He's not doing it in the back of a schoolyard, so I feel a lot more comfortable. There's no issues whatsoever. So this is what you want to
All
do.
right.
You want to put your time and money in. Have you collected money from the client yet?
Not at all. No. I told him when I delivered the product, he can pay me.
Cool. So that's one of the reasons why he's delaying. So this is what I want you to do. You go to Shopify, Google how to essentially go look at the best converting themes on Shopify. And I want you just to go build the site for him on Shopify. It literally is not going to take you more than 6 hours max. And I'm talking about from
okay.
beginning to all the way to the end. In addition, the idea that you're going to build out the backend for him is insane. You would never want to build out the backend. There's all kinds of services that are pre-built that you would want to use. Fun fact, like most large companies do not build out their backends. Like they just don't. In addition,
Wow,
something
okay.
something you didn't think in mind, right? How are you going to process the payments? All those things. It's not like you could build something that will process the payments. You'd violate a lot of different legal requirements. So what you could do with Shopify is you could integrate with Stripe, PayPal, Shop.com, all of these different things. And then in addition, whenever they're setting up all of their inventory, it has inventory management systems that you could set up in there as well. You could build his entire online presence. All of that can be built with Shopify. You could probably also integrate it with social media and stuff like that. So you could sell this as a package like, hey, I found a more effective way to do this. I'm building your site out right now. I'll have an update with you here soon.
Okay. I like that.
Beautiful. Well, Fadi, that's your best route. Dude, I'm so proud of you. Closing a project, doing all these things, this is really big business stuff. You're learning how to think about the client. You're learning how to build business solutions, doing big stuff. Super proud of you. Just great, great work, man.
One more question to throw your direction, Nathan. Would it be awesome? Would it be good to try to get classmates involved? I mean, like
No.
Slope.
No, don't try to get anybody involved. I'm saying that because you're not qualified to get anybody involved, right? It would be it'd be like what's the term? The prisoners running the asylum. Is that what the term is? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the inmates are running the asylum. It's something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. You're just not qualified to manage any of these people. You know what I mean? Do it yourself.
I hear you.
Gain the experience yourself, right? Make everybody else go get their projects. Yeah, I'm talking to the rest of you listening. Like, make them go get their own stuff, right? Unless it's Rakeem, like the rest of y'all just need to learn how to go get your own stuff and fulfill on it. That's why you're here. You need to gain the professional experience. Working with the teams aspect is pretty easy. You'll learn that with time. What matters most right now is that you learn how to fulfill clients' needs.
Okay. Thank you for that, Nathan. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. I'll talk to you later, man. Bye.
You have a blessed day.
You
Bye.
too, man. So everybody, I hope that gives some really solid context. I don't need you trying to custom build this stuff, right? The way that you get to where you want to go is by learning that with time. Yeah, save the group stuff for hackathons. What a great point, Patrick. I'm so proud of you. That's a great point. Y'all really just need to focus on how to build really cool things. That's what matters most above all things. So Louise said, with the technical partner calls, help to figure this out. Yes, the technical partner calls with Dustin are super helpful. He can help you with all this stuff. Alex, so in a way, it does expose you to the efficiency solutions. Exactly. Like all of this exposes you to all of these things. That'd be so cool to see insights in a real project. I'm going to scroll up now, though. I saw a lot of really cool questions. Someone asked at the beginning of the chat. I'm gonna put up. I'm gonna start off with this question. I thought I could make it pop on the screen somehow. I don't know how to do that actually anymore. But Patrick asked, when freelancing, how can I build a positive? Man, stop it. Okay, cool. When freelancing, how can I build a positive reputation? And what can I take to ensure repeat business and long-term client relationships? Well, first things first, you need to make sure you have a business model that's set up for that. So when you're wanting to start selling yourself, you charge a little bit up front, and then your goal is to make money on the back end. So what I recommend to everybody, only charge $250 to $500 up front, then charge $250 a month afterwards. You want to be looking into things like reputation management, you want to be looking to things like that. That's pretty much how to leave reviews and a bunch of stuff like that. You want to be looking into CRMs. You want to be looking into e-commerce stores. You want to be looking into solutions that are very fast to implement that they don't naturally know how to use. Examples of this could also be Zapier. Like you just need to know how to solve their problems, right? So the best way to figure out how to do this, just so you know, is just to come to this call with me. Come to this call and just ask questions. I'll answer all of them. Like any of the questions you have about clients, like, hey, I got a client that wants this done. I'm not sure how to fulfill on it. Come to this call. You'll send me your number. I'll put you on speaker. And we'll just solve it together. This is what I fucking love to do. I love teaching you all this business aspect because if you don't have this, you're going to graduate and look like an idiot because you're not going to be able to get any jobs and no one's going to trust you. Let me see. Speaking Upwork profiles. Would you say an introduction video would boost potential job seekers in your rankings? Of course. Videos are always amazing. Like a video saying, hey, thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. My name is Nathan Savage. I specialize in helping building business solutions and technical solutions for small businesses. If you'd love to learn how I could help your business build actual products that helps grow your revenue and improve your workflow and operation efficiency, please feel free to contact me. I'd love to help you. Something simple like that, beyond powerful. What are the common mistakes to avoid in freelancing? Patrick, I love that you asked this earlier in the chat. The most common mistake that you want to avoid when it comes to freelancing is giving pricing up front and treating everything like you're begging for money, right? The biggest mistake the software engineers and anybody who's introverted that's trying to sell something that they make is that they approach this from the standpoint of, I know what I'm worth. If they're not willing to pay me $15 an hour, then I don't want to work with them. That entitled mentality is the worst way to go, right? You need to understand that, hey, this client, this project could range anywhere from $2,500 to $250. I'm just not sure. Let's hop on a call and I could chat about it. Then you just chat with them. Hey, what are you looking to have done? Why do you want that done? What about this? What about that? Okay. Well, have you thought about this? Yeah, I have. Okay. It looks like this is something I can get done probably about 2 or 3 weeks. There's some pre-built solutions I can use to kind of fit everything together. I might need to build some custom code solutions afterwards. We can have that discussion a little bit later. What I'm suggesting is that there'll be $500 up front. After that, I'll have you on a retainer of $500 a month until it's all built. How does that sound? Right? The biggest mistakes is people don't know how to sell and they're so horrified of making other people uncomfortable that they just go to this really dumb route of just putting their prices up front and thinking that they know what they're doing. Y'all just don't know what you're doing, and that's okay. You want to move away from the traditional charge per hour route and go towards, hey, here's my upfront fee. And then after that, I have a retainer to maintain everything and to update it for you on a monthly basis. What are common mistakes to avoid? The best way to identify the projects that you can take on are just joining the calls with Dustin. But everybody, we're actually going to put a pause on there. My main role being my imagination, not a lot of great design ideas of my own. Oh, dude, unseen, it doesn't matter. You don't need to have good design. Literally, there's a million assets that are available for you to go pull. You need to know nothing about design. Random fun fact, when you're designing a website, make it all white. Just put a handful of stuff centered. Like don't just Google what are some very good website designs for people that don't have design skills. You can use ChatGPT. You don't need to be creative. You just need to know how to find solutions. Like I don't have any design skills whatsoever, but I know how to go look for what does a high quality or a high converting landing page look like? Like small things like that are the keys to really being able to stand out and get where you want to go. But everybody, that's going to be all we're going to cover today. Tomorrow we'll cover more details. Tomorrow is going to be a call that you do not want to miss. It's very crucial that you do not miss the call tomorrow. You do not want to miss the call tomorrow. We're going to be covering something about the product designed mindset. None of you know what this is. You don't know what this is, and because you don't know what it is, you're not going to get a job. Until you know what the product design mindset is, you will never be able to get a job. No one will ever hire you, because you're just going to be a person with tools on their belt that doesn't know how to build anything. So tomorrow we're going to be covering that and what the MBA mindset is. The person that goes to Masters of Business School, they get an MBA, versus the individual who's the builder, who's a software engineer, who has a software engineering product design mindset. The difference between the two and why none of you have this mindset yet, but I'm going to start teaching you how to develop it. And once you develop that mindset, you're going to be able to flip the switch and get whatever job you want. That's it for today, everybody. Can't wait to chat with you. Do not forget, like this video so you can watch it later. And also, do not forget, subscribe to the channel, because I actually care and it hurts my feelings when you don't do it. So please subscribe to the channel. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. I would love to see takeaways from everybody in the general chat and Discord, please. This is a great way for me to get feedback on what's working, what isn't working. So go to Discord, the general chat, right now, subscribe to the channel, and put your takeaways inside Discord. Thank you all so much. Can't wait to see y'all later, and have an amazing day. See y'all tomorrow.